Migration and refugees are pressing global issues, affecting millions of people across different continents. In 2019, more than two-thirds of all refugees came from just 5 countries: Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Myanmar. Syria has been the leading country of origin for refugees since 2014, with 6.6 million Syrians displaced worldwide. Migration occurs for various reasons, including conflict, persecution, economic hardship, and environmental disasters. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, plays a crucial role in assisting and resettling refugees. It is important to understand the distinction between migrants and refugees, as not all migrants are fleeing persecution. While some refugees find safety in camps, others face difficulties in informal settlements or urban areas. Refugees are people who have fled their home countries due to war, persecution, terrorism, extreme poverty, famine, or natural disasters. The UN Declaration of Human Rights defines refugees as individuals who cross an international border in search of safety. However, not all displaced persons are refugees. Those who remain within their country's borders are classified as internally displaced persons, IDP. According to UNHCR estimates, at least 79.5 million people globally have been forced to flee their homes. Among them, nearly 26 million are refugees, and half are under the age of 18. Additionally, millions of stateless people lack a nationality, making it difficult for them to access basic rights such as education and health care. The global refugee crisis remains one of the most pressing humanitarian challenges today. Many well-known historical figures were refugees who fled persecution, war, or political instability. Examples include Albert Einstein, Sigmund Freud, the Dalai Lama, and Anne Frank. Others, such as Madeleine Albright and Mikhail Gene, became influential political figures after resettling in new countries. Refugees often make significant contributions to their host societies despite the hardships they face. However, their journeys are often dangerous, and many struggle with legal and social barriers to resettlement. The international community continues to debate policies regarding refugee resettlement and asylum procedures. Recognizing refugees' historical and contemporary contributions helps challenge negative stereotypes and misconceptions. While some refugees find safety in camps, only 2.6 million live in designated refugee camps worldwide, representing just over a tenth of the total refugee population. Many others reside in urban areas or informal settlements, where they face difficulties accessing essential services. The function of refugee camps changes over time, depending on the duration of displacement and available resources. Initially, camps are designed to provide emergency relief, but long-term solutions are often needed. Some camps develop into semi-permanent communities due to prolonged displacement situations. Refugee camps require essential services such as sanitation, healthcare, and education to support their residents. However, overcrowding, limited resources, and security issues present ongoing challenges. Planning refugee camps requires careful consideration of multiple factors to ensure adequate living conditions. Space allocation per person must be sufficient to maintain dignity and prevent overcrowding. Accessibility to essential services, such as water, sanitation, healthcare, and education, must be a priority. Cultural and social dynamics also play a significant role in site planning, as extended families and community structures influence settlement arrangements. Security concerns, including tensions between different groups, must be addressed to prevent conflicts within the camps. Governments and humanitarian organizations follow established guidelines to set up camps that promote safety and well-being. Despite these efforts, many refugees face long-term displacement with uncertain futures. Designing a refugee camp map requires the use of symbols to represent essential facilities and services. These symbols help visualize the layout and organization of the camp, ensuring efficient access to resources. Key elements include shelter zones, water access points, medical facilities, food distribution centers, and sanitation areas. Emergency response locations and security checkpoints are also critical components. Effective mapping aids in planning and managing resources to accommodate refugee needs. Humanitarian organizations use standardized guidelines to create functional and sustainable camp layouts. These visual representations support logistical coordination and improve living conditions for displaced individuals. Refugee camps offer both advantages and disadvantages from social, economic, environmental, and political perspectives. Socially, camps provide a sense of community and shared experience among displaced individuals, but they can also lead to isolation from host societies. Economically, while some camps create local employment opportunities, they often rely on external aid and have limited economic independence. Environmentally, high population density in camps can lead to resource depletion and ecological strain. Politically, refugee camps can generate tensions between host countries and international organizations regarding long-term solutions. Some host governments see camps as temporary solutions, while refugees may remain displaced for decades. The debate over whether camps should be short-term emergency responses or long-term settlements continues. Finding a balance between humanitarian support and sustainable integration remains a global challenge. Addressing refugee crises requires innovative solutions that go beyond temporary aid. One promising approach is integrating refugee children into educational programs, such as the Sesame Street Initiative for displaced Syrian children. Education provides long-term benefits by fostering resilience, skill development, and social integration. Another solution involves creating economic opportunities through work programs that allow refugees to contribute to host communities. Expanding legal pathways for resettlement and asylum can also help address overcrowding in camps. International cooperation among governments, NGO, and private organizations is crucial for developing sustainable solutions. Local communities play a key role in fostering inclusion and reducing discrimination. By adopting a multifaceted approach, societies can better support refugees while addressing broader migration challenges. Imagine you are responsible for planning a section of a refugee camp that will accommodate 120 people. Your design should prioritize essential services and consider factors such as space allocation and accessibility. Providing adequate sanitation and clean water is crucial for maintaining public health. Cultural and social structures must be acknowledged to ensure community cohesion. Security measures should be in place to protect refugees from potential threats. The location of healthcare, education, and food distribution centers should be strategically planned for efficiency. Your task is to develop a practical and inclusive camp layout that meets the needs of displaced individuals. Several key factors influence the planning and organization of refugee camps. Sufficient space per person ensures dignified living conditions and prevents overcrowding. Access to essential services such as healthcare, sanitation, and food distribution must be a priority. Cultural and social dynamics should be respected to maintain harmony within the camp. Security concerns must be addressed to prevent conflicts and ensure the safety of residents. Infrastructure, including roads and transportation routes, should facilitate movement within the camp. Environmental sustainability is also an important consideration to reduce the camp's ecological impact. Long-term planning is necessary for situations where displacement extends beyond emergency relief efforts. Established guidelines for refugee site planning provide a framework for creating organized and sustainable camps. These guidelines outline minimum space requirements per person to prevent overcrowding. They also emphasize the need for safe and accessible infrastructure, including clean water and sanitation facilities. healthcare services should be available within reasonable distances to address medical needs. Educational opportunities must be provided to support refugee children and youth. Food distribution systems should ensure adequate nutrition for all residents. Following these guidelines helps improve living conditions and promotes dignity among displaced populations. Creating an effective camp layout requires clear and recognizable symbols for different facilities. Symbols can represent shelters, water stations, medical centers, and food distribution areas. Security points and emergency response locations should also be marked for safety purposes. Using standardized icons improves communication and ensures clarity in camp planning. Maps should be designed with accessibility in mind, allowing camp residents to navigate easily. Visualizing the layout helps humanitarian workers allocate resources efficiently. A well-structured map contributes to the overall functionality and effectiveness of a refugee camp. Discussing the pros and cons of refugee camps helps us understand their impact on displaced individuals and host countries. While camps provide immediate shelter and protection, they often lack long-term solutions. Economic dependence on external aid can limit self-sufficiency among refugees. Environmental concerns arise when camps strain local resources, leading to deforestation and pollution. Politically, some governments view refugee camps as temporary solutions, delaying efforts for permanent resettlement. Despite these challenges, well-managed camps can offer stability and basic necessities. Finding sustainable solutions remains a critical global priority. Potential solutions to refugee crises involve both short-term relief and long-term integration strategies. Education programs help displaced children build a future despite their circumstances. Employment opportunities allow refugees to contribute economically and reduce dependence on aid. Expanding legal pathways for asylum and resettlement can ease the burden on overcrowded camps. Host communities play a crucial role in fostering inclusion and preventing discrimination. Addressing the root causes of forced migration is essential for reducing displacement. Strengthening international cooperation is necessary for sustainable solutions. A comprehensive approach benefits both refugees and host societies. Migration is driven by push factors such as war, economic hardship, political instability, and environmental disasters. Many people flee due to violence, persecution, or human rights violations. Economic instability, unemployment, and lack of opportunities also force individuals to seek better prospects elsewhere. Climate change is increasingly becoming a major factor in displacement. Understanding push factors helps us develop solutions that address root causes. Policies that promote stability and economic growth in home countries can reduce forced migration. Addressing inequalities and conflict prevention are key to sustainable solutions.